If you voted for Trump, we can't be friends. If you voted for Biden, we can't be friends. I've seen this all day today on social media, several times on both sides. And I just wanted to address what that actually does. I don't agree with it, but I'm not trying to call anyone out because I understand the argument. I understand it. It's like, okay, let's look at Donald Trump and some of the bad things that he's done, especially in the past, and the way he talks, right? But there's this generalization that takes place that if you voted for him, that you agree 100% with what he does. And I've talked to so many people on the right who are like, if he could just stop tweeting, that would be great. I talked to so many people on the left who say, if he could just stop tweeting, that'd be great, right? So both sides are kind of in agreement about something, right? And so really, just because you voted for one side or the other does not mean you 100% agree with everything that they've ever done. That's a generalization, which, by the way, since racism has been such a topic of discussion for this election, you have to understand that generalizing is a component of racism, right? And so you really can't you can't be against one and then be for the other, right? So obviously we generalize, and I'll go into that at some other point, but it helps us, it does help us stay safe and all this other stuff, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But I do want to look at the idea that why is it just politics that we can't be friends over, right? We have different sports teams that we like, right? We have different movies. We have different religions, right? I mean, I'm friends with some people that are either atheist or agnostic or even Muslim. And, something like that. It's, but as soon as you're one side or the other when it comes to politics, it's suddenly, we can't be friends anymore. And like I said, I'm not trying to call anyone out, but this can be dangerous because of a couple different reasons. One, you're starting that echo chamber when you do that, okay? And the problem with an echo chamber is that you're not being challenged on your beliefs, right? So the way statistics work is you challenge something over and over, and if it doesn't break, then it must be statistically true, right? So challenging things, being challenged on something is a good thing because it also gets you to think. As Jordan Peterson said, you have to risk being offensive in order to think. And, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm really not. But I'm also not trying to be political here because it's not about politics. It's about black and white thinking. And however you do one thing is usually how you do everything. And so there might be a core issue with black and white thinking. It's all or nothing. It either is or isn't. The issue that we run into with this is that the world is really gray, right? You look at truth, you look at a lot of stuff like that. There is a lot of gray area that you have to siphon through. You can't just watch MSNBC or Fox News, get your truth, make up your mind, and then block everyone else out. That's not how it works. And by the way, if you don't know, well, now you know that media outlets such as CNN or Fox News or something to that effect, they get their money from ratings. And so what do they want? They want money and they want your attention. And so they will say anything and everything basically to get there. So if you hear something that you disagree with, go and look it up. And don't just look up, one or two articles. Look up a couple of them, right? If it really means that much where you're willing to shut out your friends because they believe something different, it might be worth looking into. I mean, that's quite a statement to shut out your friends because they voted for Biden, or shut out your friends because they voted for Trump. I know, I saw today someone said, if you voted for Biden, unfriend me right now. And I'm like, dude, like that's you're creating an echo chamber and you're allowing friendships to be destroyed, right? I did have a friendship when I was younger. Um, I allowed it to get destroyed by politics. I vowed never to do that again. Politics are not as important to me as friendships. And maybe you're different, and that's okay that you're different. But I just want to let you know, that's where you and I disagree, right? You create an echo chamber, and now you're only hearing what you want to believe. It might not even be true, right? So let's say that something changes, and you have the truth, but something changes, because we're finding that truth does change depending on who's the truth never changes. What we believe to be the truth changes, right? So I think it was 1950s. Cigarettes used to be part of a complete diet, right? That's what the doctors were telling us. And then we find out, like, hey, not only are these horrible for your lungs and your heart and pretty much your entire body, but they also cause cancer and you can die from it, right? And so you don't want to create an echo chamber. You don't want to just hear what you already believe, because now you already have your mind made up. And if your mind's already made up and you're hearing what you already want to believe, you're going to come into, you're not going to be dedicated to the truth. And I do think that we all should be dedicated to the truth. That's not always easy, especially when we are watching media outlets and they're giving us misinformation. And I get frustrated, right, looking at both sides, just the amount of smear campaigns and the amount of misinformation that's given out. And really, I feel like everyone should be kind of angry about that. And I guess there's a form of interpretation, how you interpret something. But nonetheless, my advice is, do not let your political stance or even religious stance or whatever sports you like or whatever movies you like, any of that stuff, don't let it determine who your friends are going to be. I mean, maybe your friends are super intelligent and they voted for the other side. Maybe go and find out why, instead of just saying, look, you voted for Trump, I hate you now, or you voted for Biden, I hate you now. That's tribalism to its finest. That's generalization to its finest. Both key components to racism, which I believe we just saw, how many months of trying to fight against, right? So, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? I would like to know what people believe, and try not to fight too much in the comments if there are comments, but try and keep it respectful and honest. But I would like to know what your thoughts on this. Thank you.